Hello everybody, welcome to another episode of Cape Rugby TV. It's great to have you back. It is all rugby action. Big thanks of course to our partners on board with us here. Thorburn Security Solutions, your one-stop shop for sports sponsorship, eventing, and pretty much everything that you need in the sports space. MChem 24-hour pharmacy on the corner of N1 and Durban Road. We'll talk about them a little bit later. And of course, Score Energy Drinks. You can, well, some lucky winner is going to win a case of Score Energy Drinks during the course of the show. Right, we get going. We've got a nice full show for you, but let me first introduce you to my panel. Special guest this evening, and he's welcome back, Mr. Danny Jones. Nice to have you back.
Good to be back, JP. Nice going.
You're looking all dressed up and fancy in your Western Province Rugby and Stormers outfit.
JP, we're not the URC champions for nothing.
Yeah.
So one, I suppose, we have an opportunity where we can display our championship victories and all those things. So yeah, I just thought I'll put this on today.
Looking good. And Mr. Jerome Parvater, welcome back.
Yeah, JP, I'm neutral today, but I've got a sponsor's kit on. So
you guys got your sponsors kit on and you're all neutral today. Right, we've got a nice full show for you guys today. So we're going to be really getting into the club rugby side. Folks, we're going to take a look at the match between Bellahar and All Saints. Of course, we're heading into that top six now. St. George's and Belleville, Macassan and Rangers, UCT and Hamilton's. We'll take a look at those highlights. Unimil was up against Marty's this week. And of course, the DHL Western Province Rugby side, under 21 side, is back in action. Mr. Jones, it's been a while since we managed to get you on the show. It's been a pretty good year for rugby. Nice to be back. I mean, after 3 years or almost 3 years of no rugby action, you guys are smiling.
No, we are, JP. We're smiling because we can play our favorite sport. Secondly, the Stormers has done well. And thirdly, the rest of the Western Province brand it's always been competitive and in a leading province. So we're quite happy to display our skills. And then obviously, it was great to see club rugby back on track. And we're heading into the, how can I say, into the championship component. So yes, we're in September. September is a beautiful month, beautiful rugby. We're getting towards the end of the season for our clubs. But as you know, the season for our Stormers has been shifted to a Northern Hemisphere season than most Southern Hemisphere.
Almost about to get started again.
We're starting on the 24th of September.
That's just around the corner. Stormers are starting. The season is, Jerome, the season is completely different now to how you grew up at school.
yeah, no, it's definitely different. I mean, I think they start on the 24th of September, and they play it in right through. They also play, I think, just at after New Year's Day they play, and they play before Christmas. So it's just continuing. There's no stop.
Maybe we can get the cricket guys and the Stormers guys to play together. Is that still happening? You remember back in the day we had that Stormers against the Cobras cricket? I suppose that's off the cards now.
But the thing is, JP, is because the rugby and the cricket season is almost the same, so there's no time.
It is. But I think if there's an opportunity, both entities would like still to have that, to give Cape Town part of our, is to keep Cape Town smiling, and now obviously Cape Town needs to smile. So that is part of that. So if there's space, as Jerome correctly says, then the two, cricket and rugby, will get together and have some activity.
Well, we're going to talk more about that during the course of the show. Let's take a look at the highlights between Bellahar and All Saints. You'll of course know that this is a quarterfinal match in Super League B. The following feature is brought to you by Score Energy Drinks, MChem 24-hour pharmacy, and Thorburn Security Solutions. This feature was brought to you by MChem 24-Hour Pharmacy, Score Energy Drinks, and Thorburn Security Solutions. Right, well, there you go, folks. Halftime score, of course, Belhar leading 11 points to 6 and against All Saints. Full-time score, Belhar winning 23 points to 18. Jerome, let's start off with you. Close halftime there. All Saints Belhar, at least between the two. And then, of course, Belhar pulling it off at the end. But I suppose this goes to show that these two teams, they both deserve to be there.
Yeah, definitely. I think if you look at it first half, All Saints were unlucky not to score. I think that score should have been 11. All Saints might have lead if they scored there in that first half. And I also think that the way they were playing, I mean, both teams were full of rugby. And I must compliment the coaches. Great defense from both sides. And I must say the set pieces were pretty even. So it could have gone any team, but I mean at the end there, the home ground advantage really helped Belhar there, but All Saints were in the game up until the end.
Dan, you'll be happy to see a team like Belhar challenging the former Super League A side. They've got the wheels turning. I mean, for them to be challenging at this level, I'm sure from Western Province Rugby, and looking at All Saints, the standard in Super League B just getting stronger every year.
Yes, JP. Look, Super League B is about competition week in, week out. I think it's the closest league competition that we have, in that anybody can beat anybody on the day. But I mean, from Belhar's side, Belhar is a team that should be in the Super League A. They've always, I mean, they've played always good rugby, very competitive. So from their side, Super League A should be in their sights. All Saints, also, as Jerome correctly says, played some great rugby. They are competitive, and they were competitive. I'm amazed at their growth that they have had, because if you look at the comp with Helderberg, Lulu Boys, Strand
You
United.
mean that Helderberg Basin area?
Yes, and they were that competitive. They are, as I said, those teams. There are 3 teams vying in that comp, and we still have a Strand that's also pushing big time at the bottom. Yeah. So all I can say is that, in my mind, All Saints did very well. They really boxed above their weight, and we can expect good things of them next year.
Do you think, Danny? Do you think it was how much of a home ground advantage would have that been for Belhar?
Look, I mean, in the round robin, home ground advantage is big. In the playoffs, it's the will to win. Yeah. So you could see there, All Saints came very close. They were one scoring opportunity away from equalizing. So it was a good game. They played well. Belhar played well. The support came out. It was a good Saturday afternoon of club rugby. Yeah,
as we hope and as we always expect. Any Saturday afternoon with club rugby is always a good afternoon of club rugby. Or it's always a good Saturday. We're going to take a break. When we come back from the break, we'll take a look at the match, the quarterfinal match, also in Super League B. St. George's were up against Bellville. Welcome back, folks. Right, well, as you know, of course, the best conversation, well, maybe you don't know, but the best conversation always happens when the microphones are off. Danny, this is the other thing about nice to be back with club rugby, is that we're talking rugby again. We're having conversations about matches and fixtures and fields and players and scores and results. And I suppose for you guys also the actual special thing this year was to be able to see people again face to face.
Look, JP, it was post-COVID. It turned out post-COVID, but that's how clubs responded and rugby responded to COVID. It was great to see all affiliates playing. That was a plus. And that it was a mechanism to get people back into the game. So next year, all things being equal, we will go back to normal. When I say normal, Super League A, B, and C will have 3 teams plus under 20s. And then in the regions, we'll have 3 teams. That's normal in Western Province. So we'll go push our maximum totals again.
Some of the clubs, of course, also, they have to work quite hard to make sure the membership numbers are back. But now with all this activity and the feeling of club rugby is 100% back in place, I suppose the floodgates will open for people to go and join clubs again.
I think it will. I think definitely if what clubs did this year, and we commend them for getting their players back, the fact that they stuck it out, and obviously the communities can see that rugby plays an important role in their lives. So if you're not a player, you're a spectator, and that thing helps, keeps the tongues wagging in the community.
Well, I must say that I think that the story of Western Province Club Rugby has been one of the, call it, emotional and success stories of sport in the last 2 years, is how, and especially with Western Province Club Rugby, how Western Province Club Rugby galvanized against COVID, and really showed what community sport is all about.
No, JP, we bless for what our communities and clubs have done, but underneath all of that is also our great school systems of rugby. And that they always bring in our rugby players, and that filters into our senior club ranks. So we're very appreciative of that continuum of players from schools into our clubs.
Well, talking about your clubs, of course, it is now the top 6. You've gone through the log already, or at least the league. Now we're into the top 6, and it is all systems go at the moment. St. George's were up against Belleville in the quarterfinals in Super League B. The following feature is brought to you by Score Energy Drinks, MChem 24-Hour Pharmacy, and Thorburn Security Solutions. This feature was brought to you by MChem 24-Hour Pharmacy, Score Energy Drinks, and Thorburn Security Solutions. Well, there we go. Big win for St. George's, 29 points to 12. Jerome, is it fair to call it a big win? I mean, in a final, I suppose that is a pretty big margin.
It is, yeah. I mean, 17 points it is a big win, and I mean it's also fair. The result is fair on St George's. I mean if you look at that first half, St George's, every time if they're in Bellville's 22 or 5 minutes from the try line they score, and Bellville couldn't defend that. Also, Bellville defended the set pieces bad. They stopped the mauls bad. They couldn't scrum. And later in the game, then the second half, the forwards were walking. So well done to St George's. I mean they played it correct, and I mean they ran Bellville. The forwards they were tired, so they couldn't get into the defensive line, which is bad. And as I say, the set pieces, the scrums is bad. If you can't scrum, if you can't maul, your game is pretty much done. And well done to St George's because they pretty much have controlled the whole game.
Danny, if you look at teams like Bellville and St George's, they're fresh out of Super League A and on Super League B. St George's have got that recent taste of Super League A. Do you think that this is that they're drawing on that experience and that feeling already?
No doubt about the JP. St George's always plans to be in Super League A, and they have the infrastructure and players, and so they want to be there. I was disappointed in this Bellville score because Bellville is one of those clubs that have great support, passionate people behind them. So I really thought they would give St George's a far better go than what the score suggests and what the video suggested how they played. So yes, I'm a bit disappointed in Bellville, but Bellville, as I know, they must probably scratching their heads now and saying, look, volgende jaar moet ons daar wees. So ons moet dan nou op 'n plan om haar te wees volgende jaar.
Do you think that's what the clubs are thinking now? Is, give it your best shot, but think strategically?
I think they do, and they would, because as I said, Bellville is a big club by anybody's standards, and I'm sure there would have been lots of introspection in that, with regard to that game.
Jerome, it's game face day though. I mean, on at a time like this, you've got to bring everything to the party, or do you leave a little bit in the tank, knowing that you might still play in a semi-final next week?
No, I mean quarters. If you don't make it, you don't. So you can't leave anything in the tank. You must go out full out because you can lose the game. So yeah, I mean just look at this game. I mean it is like Mr. Jones say, like Bellville was always in the big league, and hopefully they'll do better and strategize now and get the house in order, because it's not good for the spectators, it's not good for your club, it's not so, but they have to do something.
Mr. Jones, don't you think that Jerome is being a little bit hard on his own club here?
I didn't want to bring up Jerome's history.
His allegiance.
Yeah, but I think Jerome, what he's saying is he's hurting, because Bellville has always been a big club, and it is his family club.
Yeah.
And he still supports them big time, so he's hurting and he's being circumspect. But I do believe there's one man that was probably very upset, is Jerome's eldest brother, Koos. So I wouldn't want to see Koos for the next few months, because he's definitely going to complain about me about Bellville.
We're not going to bring Jerome into this conversation now, but yes, folks, incidentally, of course, the Parvata family instrumental in Bellville. But this is not about, there's no alliances or allegiances here. Folks, we're of course still coming up after the break. We're going to take a look at Super League C quarterfinals. Macassar were up against Rangers over the weekend. That was a big game. And then, of course, we're still going to take a look a little bit later in the show. UCT against Hamilton's, Unimil against Marty's. And then, as you know, the DHL Western Province Rugby under-21 side is back, and we managed to get some of their action on the side of the field. But don't go away. All that coming up. Back in a sec. Welcome back, folks. Right, don't forget, a little bit later during the course of the show, we're going to give you an opportunity to see who the winner was of the score competition. Every week we give an opportunity for you to spot the ball. You go to our Facebook page, www.facebook.com/Cape Rugby TV, and you win yourself a case of Score Energy drinks. It's very easy. We take a picture, we change the ball in a sneaky way, and then we see if you can find the ball. That's, of course, on our Facebook page. Folks, Super League A, B, and C is, of course, getting very hot at the moment. A lot of action there. We went out this weekend also to, at least the footage coming into us now from the clubs. Macassar was up against the Rangers in the quarterfinals. Let's take a look. The following feature is brought to you by Score Energy Drinks, MChem 24-Hour Pharmacy, and Thorburn Security Solutions. This feature was brought to you by MChem 24-Hour Pharmacy, Score Energy Drinks, and Thorburn Security Solutions. Right, there we go, everybody. Of course, final result there. Macassar 23, Rangers 17. Jerome, your thoughts on the game?
Yeah, again, this game, I mean, Rangers were pretty much in the game, and they could have scored 2 tries, which I've seen, which they didn't finish. And well done to Macassar. I mean, they had a good season, and I think they were dominating in the scrums. Their lineouts was good, and but a pretty even game. So, but well done to Macassar, and I think they play CPUT this weekend, so it's going to be another tough game for them.
It's going to be a cracker. We'll take a look at the fixtures a little bit later, but Danny, you don't get into the top 6 without having had a good season. Rangers and Macassar both deserve to be there.
Definitely, JP. They're both clubs with good history. So Macassar, as you know, the beginning of the year, they had a new exco coming in and all those things. So you could see the new broom sweep clean, and they qualified.
So that's quite impressive to do this well, and you've had changes in management.
Yes, it does. But I mean, Macassar has always been a club with good infrastructure, good rugby abilities, and all those things. And once again, there's some good schools in the area. So that all breeds good rugby, and I'm glad for them. Rangers, most probably they disappointed because Sarestedt likes to qualify higher up. But next year's another year.
Next year's another year. This year, of course, we're looking to close off. Well, we're still a long way to closing off, folks, by the way. We've got a lot of rugby still coming up, as Jerome said earlier on. The Stormers are just getting started, and 21s have just got started. The Sevens rugby is, well, it's all Sevens rugby at the moment. So a lot of rugby still to go through, and of course, not to mention all the preseason games. But right now, the teams are looking to see who's going to walk away with the titles in the various leagues. We took a look at the match between UCT and Hamilton's. They're, of course, also in the quarterfinals. Very important game. The following feature is brought to you by Score Energy Drinks, MChem 24-Hour Pharmacy, and Thorburn Security Solutions. This feature was brought to you by MChem 24-Hour Pharmacy, Score Energy Drinks, and Thorburn Security Solutions. Welcome back, folks. Right, so UCT walking away with a win then 22-10. Jerome, your thoughts? These are two big teams, both of them playing at the highest level in Super League for a long time now.
Yeah, surprisingly, UCT scored all their points in the first half. I think they took their foot off the petrol there in the second half, because then Hamilton's gets up, but was a little bit too late for Hamilton's.
Yeah.
But overall, I think it was a good game. I mean, both sides tried to run, and we know the students like to run the Green Mile. It's tough to go there and play there, and I think they use the wind quite well, the students, and I think that's why the score was so, because it's tough to play against the wind the second half.
Danny, your thoughts?
No, as I said, proud of UCT in the way they performed. Amis had some big names beginning of the year. I expected more of them because I mean there's a lot of, they also have great infrastructure. But well done to UCT.
MChem 24-Hour Pharmacy, folks. You see it in all its glory there behind me right now. Remember, on the corner of N1 and Durban Road, Mr. Malach, Jill, and Leo, always there, aiming for the gold standard. And of course, for those of you who are not aware, MChem 24-Hour Pharmacy is of course the official pharmacy to Western Province Rugby. The senior players and the players at the High Performance Centre, which is just down the road, they in fact go up the road there and get all their prescriptions and medicines and so on. Folks, I love going to MChem 24-Hour Pharmacy, and when I walk in, there's always somebody say hello to me. And so the thing about MChem is that there's always somebody that is there for you. I specifically, of course, remember during the time of COVID, they made sure that they were there for you all the time. And I loved that Jerusalem video that they made with all of the staff at MChem. Again, just showing the unity of everybody at MChem. They've got a fantastic sports nutrition zone upstairs, great prices, best brands, and someone is always there to give you the best advice. Don't forget, of course, the orthopedical and surgical zone, Sister Miriam downstairs. And really important that if you need orthopedic or surgical products, that you get the best advice, because you don't want the product to not fit you correctly. This could, in fact, either slow down your recovery or maybe even do other damage. So you want to make sure you have the right orthopedic or surgical product. Don't forget, of course, the dispensary is open 24/7. Really, everything that you need. So if you're ever not sure, remember, go to MChem first. Go and check things out there. And if they don't have the product that you need, they will find it for you. We'll be back after the break. Don't go away. You're watching Cape Rugby TV. You're on Cape Town DSTV channel 263 every Wednesday night, 9 p.m. to 10 p.m. And of course on a Saturday morning from 8 a.m., at least from 9 a.m. through to 10 a.m. And we talk about club rugby, of course West Province club rugby, and the extensions thereof, which, well, Mr. Jones, we've got you now. Once you start club rugby, from there it can go into, and school rugby, and everything comes from club sport. From there to professional sport and under 21s and universities. This is your breeding ground.
100%, and we're fortunate in that we have a number of clubs. I mean, not a number of clubs, quite a heck of a lot of clubs. But it does, club rugby does give the player an opportunity for higher calling, whether it's in Western Province or in SVD or Boland, Eastern Province and up north. If you play good club rugby in Western Province, you can open up the doors the rest of the country for you to get involved
do
in
we ever see
semi-professional and professional game.
Well, I was going to ask you, do we ever see players maybe going to America or places like that where they play like higher club rugby level?
Quite a number of players
really?
Annually leaves for Europe and America, and from our club rugby and school rugby system, and then you find out they were South African born playing there, and yeah, they come from us.
Okay, so still born and bred and in their soul South African.
Definitely, but and still love the game of rugby, and they accept their new country because it gives them an opportunity to play rugby. But everybody wants to play in Cape Town, play for Province and the Stormers.
Everybody wants to play in Cape Town. I mean, Cape Town is like the heart and soul of sport in the world.
Everybody wants to come to Cape Town. You're right.
Yeah.
Good climate, good weather, great people, good rugby.
And like they say, welcome to Cape Town. Okay, let's go. Unimall was up against Marties this week in the Super League A. Cracker of a game. Let's take a look at the first half. The following feature is brought to you by Score Energy Drinks, MChem 24-hour pharmacy, and Thorburn Security Solutions. This feature was brought to you by MChem 24-hour pharmacy, Score Energy Drinks, and Thorburn Security Solutions. Unimil then, of course, or at least Marty's leading 24 points to 16 in the first half of that match in the quarterfinals. Of course, playing at Unimil home ground. Jerome, your thoughts on the first half so far?
Yeah, JP, I think the first half, Marty's were actually lucky to lead the first half because Unimil were controlling the first half. But towards the end of the first half, two more tries killed Unimil. That's where Marty's got ahead. And because I was at that game on Saturday, so for me, it was just a poor display about their forwards not be able to stop them all. I mean, they scrummed well, but I couldn't stop them all. So I think that was poor. I mean, the students are much lighter than Unimil's pack, but they mauled them 20 meters, 15 meters, and if they scored in the second half also, like so that was a poor performance from the forwards, I'd say.
Danny, that field was looking a little bit patchy to me. Do you think that would have had any impact on the game?
Well, I'm surprised that field is looking like that because, as far as I'm concerned, the field should be in better state, but it should help the home team.
What you mean they've got home ground advantage?
100%.
They know which patches to...
Which pothole to avoid.
Which pothole to avoid. Folks, let's take a look at the second half. Unimil up against Marty's. Unimil, of course, got home ground advantage on the patchy field. The following feature is brought to you by Score Energy Drinks, MChem 24-hour pharmacy, and Thorburn Security Solutions. This feature was brought to you by MChem 24-Hour Pharmacy, Score Energy Drinks, and Thorburn Security Solutions. Well, there we go. Unimil, well, didn't work their way at the end of it. Marty's winning 38-28. Your thoughts, Danny?
Well, I was surprised because Union Mill had a good season. They beat a number of big teams, including Marty's and UCT.
Yeah.
And I think, if I'm not mistaken, they beat Fallsbay too. I'm not so sure, but they had some great wins.
Yeah.
But I thought home ground advantage would be they would beat Marty's.
Would you say that still, are we still saying, Jerome, Unimil almost the Cinderella team? They've really fast-tracked over the last 3 years from the time that they came out of Super League B into Super League A. Well, I wouldn't say the last 3 years because it's almost like the last 2 years have been invisible. But there's been a lot of growth at Unimil.
Yeah, I mean, we know since Ismail Dolly took over at Unimil, he always said like he's not ready to go to Super A. It was a few years which he could have gone, but they say no, they were not ready, prefer to stay in Super B.
But once they made the jump,
but once they decided to go to Super A, there was not holding back. And I mean, look, I mean, they're still up there, and they're still of the top four.
I mean, I think we forget it was only just a short while ago that Unimil was playing in Super League B.
Correct, and they scored some good tries. I mean, really well worked tries and those things. So yeah, as I said, they had a good season. They had some big games that they won, but they needed to have won the quarterfinal.
Right, speaking about winning, I am now not going to give you guys an opportunity to win a case of Score energy drinks, but I'm going to give you an opportunity to see if you can spot the ball. Mr. Jones, so you're going to have to participate now as well. Faisal and Jerome are pretty good at this. I'm terrible at this competition because we've got a really sneaky editor who always changes the ball in a way that we can't see. So you've got on the screen over there the option to see A1, A2, A3, B1, B2, B3, C1, C2, and C3. If Jerome, shall we go with you? We'll start off with you. These are your options. Would you like to give it a shot, or do you want me to go first?
I'll go B1.
You're going to go with B1. All right. I'm in fact going to go with A2 on this one here. Mr. Jones, would you like to give it a shot?
Well, it's either B2 and it's in the man's hands, or it's A2.
Are you A2? What did I say? Did I say A2?
Yeah.
Are we both on A2?
No, I would go with B2.
You're going with B2? I think I went with A2. Jerome, you said, okay, well, let's take a look. Where is the ball? And, of course, the ball, there it is in A3. Okay. Well, sorry, Jerome. Sorry, Danny. Both of you out of the picture.
But how can the ball be in A3?
Well, yeah, do you think maybe it's not actually in A3?
The ball is still traveling.
The ball is still traveling.
It can either be in B1 or A1.
Well, maybe they're just throwing the ball very fast. Who knows with these things? Congratulations to Jade Barron.
He's a poor editor.
All right. Jade Barron, congratulations, Jade. You walk away with that case of Score energy drinks. We'll reach out to you on Facebook, and we'll make sure that you can come and collect your case of Score. All right, folks, we're going to take a break. When we come back from the break, we'll take a look at the results, logs, and fixtures. That, of course, there's no fixtures this weekend. It's the HSBC Sevens here in Cape Town, where just about the whole world is coming to enjoy Sevens rugby for Friday, I think Saturday and Sunday, 2 days of action here in Cape Town. But we're going to take a look at some of the results and logs currently as things stand. So don't go away. Back in a sec. Right, folks, you're watching Cape Rugby TV here on Cape Town TV. Let's wrap things up now. Of course, a big weekend in Cape Town, as of course it is the HSBC 7. Danny, I suppose that time of the year where everybody comes down to Cape Town, people from all around the world coming to watch Sevens.
Yes, JP, definitely. You know, we are a great destination, and obviously the world is with us. We do play good Sevens here in Cape Town, and the world will come see the beautiful Cape Town that we have. So it does impact on our club rugby calendar. There's no doubt about it.
But of course, for you guys as well. I mean, because it's in Cape Town, it's a SA Rugby event. Western Province Rugby, all hands on deck, helping all the visiting teams and so on as well.
Yes, JP, and many of the volunteers and that come from our club rugby
Yes.
system.
Oh, okay.
So they're involved in the process as
Fetching and delivering and driving.
liaison officers and drivers and all those things.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. Right, folks, let's quickly take a look then at the results from this past weekend. Of course, we know that it was in Super League A, it was a win for UCT. They'll now go through, as well as Marty's going through after their win over Unimil. Marty's winning 38 points to 28. Of course, False Bay will now move on to take on Marty's, and Durban will take on UCT. Super League B saw wins for Belha up against All Saints, and St. George's will win over Belleville. And that means that Hands and Hearts will face St. George's and Helderberg will face Belha. Super League C results saw a draw for Carlemore and Kraaifontein, which is an interesting result, and Macassar with a win over Rangers, which now we see on points difference. Of course, Carlemore will go through. That was after their draw against Kraaifontein. Carlemore will now take on Strand. CPUT take on Macassar. Promotion League results, folks, of course, getting down to the wire there as well, and very exciting. Violets with a 40 points to 0 win over Atlantis. It was a win for Laguna over Northerns. Masipumalele with a comeback win over Hamadias. And Van der Stel, well, they went down to Silurians this weekend. Jerome, I've just got to pause here for a couple of seconds. That was turnaround results this weekend. Masipumalele, of course, lost to Hamadias at the in the finals there of Super League, in the City League, I think, and then Van Stel going down to Silurians by 1 point.
Yeah, that's a big result for Silurians. I mean, Van der Stel, I don't know, is it their first loss?
Yes, I think it might have been.
Yeah, I think it's their first loss for
year,
the season. So, I mean, they had a great season, but well done to Silurians.
So let's quickly take a look then at the log there in the Promotion League. Van der Stel sitting at the top of the pile, 6. They've managed to win 4 of those so far. Hamadias, Blakes, Violets make up your top 4. And of course, Masipumalele, they have a game in hand, so can still climb the rankings there as well. Then followed by Silurians, Laguna, Atlantis, and Northerns. Fixtures this weekend sees Van der Stel up against Blakes. That's going to be a derby match. They are pretty much on the corner of each other. Northerns are up against Atlantis. Hamadias take on Violets, and Laguna are up against Masipumalele. Paarl region results saw a win for Young Standards over Riverstones, 25-19. Paarl Rangers with a win over Violets. Paarl Young Gardens beating Simondium. That was a big result there. And of course, Lower Paarl, 39-19 over Peril United. On the Women's League, folks, we see Brackenfell 61-10 over CPUT. And then Marty's with a 51-5 win over Kales River. Folks, we of course managed to catch up with the DHL Western Province Rugby under 21 side. They're of course playing the Curry Cup at the moment, and we managed to get them at training as well as catch up with some of the players on this side of the field. Let's take a look. The following features brought to you by Score Energy Drinks, MChem 24-hour Pharmacy, and Thorburn Security Solutions.
Yeah, no, definitely good to be back. I feel for all of us here, it's a big privilege. It's an honor to pull over the blue and white hoops of the Western Province. Three games in, I think we're doing well so far. 2 wins out of 3. Just that one solitary loss against the Bulls, but all in all, good so far. Yeah, I mean, we always knew it's going to be tough going up to Joburg. It's never easy going up there and demanding a victory, but that's the standards we set for ourselves. So, I mean, we just try to raise the standards every week and keep getting better. So that sets us up well for the campaign, hopefully. Yes, no, we're definitely looking forward to having the Cheetahs down here. I haven't played at home since the Bulls, so it's going to be a good one.
I first came here, I spent 3 months last year during the junior box camp. So I don't know, I loved it so much. When I got back to Durban, I realized that, man, I belong here in Cape Town, so I decided to leave the Sharks and come back here. I don't regret my decision so far, I just feel at home. I did injure my other hamstring last year. I got back, I think about around June. I started training a bit, struggling there and there with fitness and just the nature of the game. And then when we were doing pre-season for the 21, the first week I injured my other hamstring, and it's so frustrating. But yeah, I mean, it's been going up and down. The other hamstring is sometimes stiff, sometimes not. So I'm just doing everything I can to try and heal. But I mean, I guess I got about 2 weeks left, or 1 week. I'm not too sure. Up to the physios, obviously. I'm just listening to them, following their instructions. So yeah, I think maybe 1 week or 2 weeks, and I'll be back. But it's going well. I'm happy. Yeah, I'm sure the boys are looking forward. We did lose a couple of players again last week with the concussions and all those things, but and other few players joined the Stormers at camp. So yes, we lost a few players with disadvantage, but I'm sure the boys will pull through. We showed their character last weekend, so I'm sure they'll do it again this weekend. And it's like you said, we're playing at home, so yeah.
Yeah, we 3 games in. The first 2 games, we definitely learned a lot about them, about ourselves, and I think we got a clear picture that we want to improve ourselves, and so every time we play a game, we're trying to reflect and we're trying to see how we can improve. And yeah, it's still a long season to go, so still a lot to work on, but yeah. Still got our goal in mind, and we're looking forward to the competition. Yeah, I think credit to the new guys. They're always willing to learn, and they're always willing to take advice. And the guys that have been in this environment also, they've been willing to give the advice and also learn from the new guys. There's always something where everyone can improve on, and yeah, we're just trying to build a nice vibe here, and hopefully that can take us forward into the competition. Yeah, no, I think everyone's looking forward to every game that we can play. And again, it's one game at a time. So this is another opportunity for us to improve on, and we're going to try to use it to the utmost.
This feature was brought to you by MChem 24-Hour Pharmacy, Score Energy Drinks, and Thorburn Security Solutions. DHL Western Province Under-21 wing Riaz Fredericks, as well as Mambo Mkize and loose forward and captain Simon Miller just chatting to us there. Jerome, firstly, let's start off with you. Good win for you guys so far over the Cheetahs, at least the Lions, and then this week you're taking on the Cheetahs.
Yeah, it was a good away win for us against the Lions there in Ellis Park on last Friday. And yeah, so Cheetahs a different challenge on Saturday at Villages. Yeah, hopefully we'll see some people there coming to watch the boys.
Jerome, other than of course the fact that you have to be with the DHL Under-21 sides, are you going to have a bit of breathing space and maybe watch a little bit of sevens?
Yeah, look, I'll definitely watch sevens, and we play early Saturday, so
right.
Hopefully you can go watch 1 or 2 club games also.
And Mr. Jones, I'm assuming you'll have your hands full. You're going to be dealing with sevens, you're going to be dealing with Under-21s, and of course club rugby.
Definitely, Joey. JP, you'll see me at sevens, you'll see me at the Under-21s, and you'll see me at club rugby.
Hands full. Jerome, thanks for joining us. It's been great to have you on the show, as always.
Always a pleasure, JP.
And Mr. Jones, also fantastic to have you here, and looking forward to having you back.
Thank you, JP.
Yeah.
Enjoyed being here.
There we go, folks. Cape Rugby TV, we're wrapping it up. It's all systems go. We keep saying this, have a fantastic rugby weekend, but this time we know it's more excitement this weekend than normal because it is the HSBC Sevens here at the Cape Town Stadium. Promotion League is getting really hot, and we can't wait to see what the fixtures are going to look like next week. We'll leave it at that, and we'll say to you again, have a fantastic rugby weekend. Bye-bye.